Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing really well. So if you watch my videos, if you know me, you will know that I am somebody who loves to analyze the cultural subtleties between different countries, especially between Germany where I live and New Zealand where I was born and raised. So in this video today, I am going to be talking about 5 things you will see in most German homes, and most of these things you're not that likely to see in a New Zealander's home. Maybe you will, but more likely you will see these things in a German person's home. So guys, in no particular order, something that you are most likely going to find in almost every single German home, and that is blackout shutters on every single window. And after living in Germany for so many years, I could not imagine life without blackout shutters on my windows. When I was growing up in New Zealand, we didn't have blackout shutters on our windows. Nobody did. I think over the years they've become a little bit more popular, but most New Zealanders, we just have curtains that we pull at night, and then when the sun comes in the morning, you know, you get woken up by the sun. But in Germany, you have these amazing shutters, and basically they just block out completely any light that's coming in. So the really cool thing about these shutters is that you can close them a little bit if you want just a little bit of light coming in, or you can shut them completely and you can completely black out the room. And so in the older German homes, they have a system where you kind of just like pull it. It's really easy. And in the newer homes, like the one that we've built, you can just like press a button and they're electric, so electric shutters, which is really cool. I like to have my room completely blacked out at night. I feel like I have a much more settled sort of sound asleep that way. Some people, you know, just like to have a little bit of light shining through, but the cool thing is that you can control how much light you want in your room. And with curtains, you can't control that. People try and make blackout curtains. Doesn't really work. I remember going back to New Zealand when both of my kids were babies, and they were just so used to having their naps and, you know, sleeping with the shutters down and having complete darkness with just a little lamp for light. And so it was really, really hard. You know, the jet lag was obviously hard, but it was also hard for them because they weren't used to the sun coming in with, you know, curtains. And if we put them to bed a little bit earlier and it was still bright outside, it was really hard for them to fall asleep. So my darling mum, bless her heart, she got this big black rubbish bag and she used Velcro to put on the top of the windows to black out the windows, and that was the only way that we could black out the light for my kids. And yeah, I just much prefer the shutter system. In Germany, they don't really have curtains at all. I haven't noticed curtains. I think maybe some homes have them, but there's not really a need for curtains when you have blackout shutters. Okay, so another thing that I have noticed in a lot of German homes, some of these are like on display in the living room, or some of them, you know, you may have to spend a bit of time in a German person's home to discover these, but most Germans have a lot of those really big binders, like organization folders, and we also have these in New Zealand, but not so much. In Germany, like almost every German has these, and I'm pretty sure it's because in Germany you get a lot of paperwork, and Germans on a whole are very organized people, and they love to keep all of their life admin, you know, their bureaucracy together, all organized, and they like to store it in these big folders. And I think, you know, of course that's a great thing if you're going to be super organized, and so many Germans are, and that's probably why you see a lot of these big folders in German homes. My husband is the one that keeps on top of all of our paperwork, so we have a lot of these binders at home, especially with our house building process. Oh my goodness, there's been so much paperwork and you just have to keep it organized. So the binders, that's the most practical way of organizing your German paperwork. Something else that you are most likely going to find in almost every German's home, and that is bottles for recycling. So in Germany, I have talked about this before, but they have an incredible recycling system, and most Germans are very good, very diligent about following the recycling rules in Germany. And also in Germany, they don't really like to drink tap water so much. They call it Leitungswasser, and it's just not really something people drink in Germany. Even though it's proven that German tap water is safe to drink, Germans prefer to drink bottled water, mostly the sparkling water. Some Germans like to drink stilles Wasser, which is just regular water but purified and bottled. That's besides the point. But what I'm trying to say is that Germans have a lot lot of bottles from the water that they buy. Some Germans like to buy plastic bottles, some like to buy the glass bottles. Either way, you can recycle them, which is amazing. So in Germany, what you do, you hold on to your bottles until you've collected enough, and then you go and exchange the bottles in this machine where you put your bottles in, and then you get this like voucher back, and the voucher you can use at that supermarket, and you can buy whatever you want with the voucher. And so just say you have a whole lot of bottles, you may get like €5, €10. I can't remember how much it is for every single bottle, but it adds up to quite a bit. So that is the reason for all of the plastic and glass bottles that you will see in a German person's home. I think it's a fabulous system, and I wish we had this system in New Zealand. Something else that you will find in most German homes, not all of them, but so many German homes have these, and that is a big bookshelf just packed with educational books. This is something that many Germans are very proud of, to show off their big beautiful collection of books, because so many Germans, they're very educated, they are inquisitive, they love to research, they love facts, and they love to read, and so this is very common. Almost always amongst their big collection of books you will see encyclopedias, and you will see an Oxford English dictionary. That's just something that I've noticed. I'm not saying that New Zealanders don't like to read and don't like books, because I grew up in a home where we had so many books and lots of bookshelves with all sorts of books, but I have noticed this more in Germany. I've noticed the display of books in homes more so in Germany than in New Zealand. Okay guys, so last but not least, something that you are most likely going to find in almost every single German home, and those are house shoes, slippers, and Germans just love their house shoes, their slippers. They are such a German thing, and it's quite funny because I've talked about the fact that German homes are toasty and warm in the winter time, and New Zealand homes are freezing cold, but New Zealanders don't really wear slippers. We sometimes do, like it's sort of like more old ladies or men would wear slippers, and maybe like little kids, but for the most part we don't really wear slippers in New Zealand. We wear socks. Some people wear slippers or Ugg boots, but most people don't wear slippers. But in Germany, almost every single person will be wearing slippers. In some German homes, they even have slippers that their guests can wear when they go into the home, and for some reason Germans just love their slippers, even though their homes are so warm and they don't really need to be wearing them. They just love them. They love to feel, I guess, toasty and snuggly and cozy in the winter time. I think it's not just Germany. I think a lot of European cultures have this sort of like slipper, house shoe culture. Even when I was in Poland, they are really into their slippers, so I think it's more of a European thing, not just a German thing. But I remember when I first came to Germany, my in-laws were always on my back about wearing slippers. I would always forget to wear them, and they'd say, "Where are your slippers? Where are your slippers?" And I would sort of almost get in trouble for not wearing my slippers. I even remember when I was giving birth to my children and I was reading through the hospital list of things that I had to bring to the hospital, slippers was on that list, which I found kind of hilarious because, I don't know, it was just so German and kind of cute. So definitely one of the first things I noticed when I came to Germany was the fact that Germans love to wear slippers in the winter time, and they love you to wear slippers too. I think it's so cute. I love it. So anyway guys, that's all I've got for this video. If you are German and you're watching this, I'm really curious to know how many of these things do you have in your home, or how many of these things don't you have in your home? Please let me know in the comment section below. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed it, then don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. I would love you to consider subscribing to my channel. Feel free to connect with me on Instagram, and I will see you again really soon. Bye!